Nonsia abo ya madi shey na kwaba ne ache edeba virgin na nopa nonsia kase eso ensema ekoso ewo mangana amanone ene dia ekeka hom ena nopa ya boaboa no ayede ba besom se virgin anopa nonsia kase asida enkoma success preparatory school womo ena boya chidom eme yede kase ebro success womo ewo nsawom out there so kwantempon no eso eho ena wohwehwe womo obehunu womo no mo se ya fa akoda ni free fie na fa ne bra wo ba no wadua wasuma che so preparatory school na se private school akọ wunya ba bia ode ne beko ene fa wani enkyire ba bia fa ne kọ success ana wo mo edemu soronkom kase de mu akotini ebi ene se Now what mu ena Ghana ya mampeni na nadankwa kufado or the State of the Nations address meche Ghana ya bobre beebi yakon okono akwakodru ena empo no yani suade hunu ewo mfie nan entamu no wode babeto yanim na de wo mu no yedi munkyeremu ebebrew Sanso ena onimonyamfo Daniel Domlevo meche auditor general wakọ na homegye emu wode ababonte na wakyeremu se eya dia Ghana de eba ne katahyehe ene proye dia wujisi wasa wonku a wobetimi etuase a anhwa na efie enede wo bekom COVID-19 na se na nadodankwa akufado ne State of the Nations address a wode betu yenemu ewo na watwe mu no na wo kasa no na ne kasa no ebi na wode tu dwase eyade a Ghana COVID-19 eba yempo no eyade a aduane ho anko atwe ewo man Ghana emu na eyade COVID-19 ho ensensam ya edura eba bepiemu ewo man Ghana emu na Ghana fo no bi ekase wo mo enwo sa eduro no neno na nsem trefo wo mo etutu oni monyamfo kwadwo opo enkroma ebusa ne se eyade COVID-19 eduro no wanwo bi asotwe bi ewo hode ma wana na de ode tu dwa no eno nso yedi munkyeremu ebebrew saranso na eye onimonyamfo Haruna Idrisu wadi ababonte na wo kyeremu se eyade na nadodankwa kufado ne kasa meche State of the Nation address wade baye no eyade bibia deda na kwam na emom no ensem bia wanfa ntudwa no eno ene ma ne di ne ho yaw ebusia ensem bi eka we ho amanone ensem ene gedie mu ensem ena no pe ya boaboa no yesi nkonwa na yede bro se virgin anopa no si akase midin ede nane kwia akyereba ye twa ye ho ye ba ye de ye babo ewura kase no emu Ebusia yesan ema wakwaba safe ena waso wafidie na ye virgin anopa no nsia kase afe kase no enkyeremu na watwe mu ena Ghana ye mampeni na nadodankwa akufado or the State of the Nations address meche Ghana ye bobre beebi yakon okono akwakodru ena empo no yeni suade hunu ewo mfie nan entamu no wade tu dwa ede manyen na ne kasa mu no ena wakasa bebre na ba ko a wakan ye ebi ene se wohwe oman Ghana mu afimpinu ni aduonu meche 2020 a COVID-19 yade no eyiniti ewo oman Ghana mu a enkofo dodo a sebe womo edwumabo womo yeyi womo edino ni nyina eye 42000 eno ni nyina eka ho ena sesie mecha afimpinu ni aduonu ba queen eye unemployment enkofo dodo womo titifi womo enye adwuma enye no ama no akosoro papapa eyie yenkonkotie wabra wadi tu edwa no se de wokan no ebi
survey conducted by the Ghana Statistical Service in collaboration with the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, and the World Bank. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to job losses, with many Ghanaian businesses and firms being forced to cut costs by reducing staff hours, cutting wages, and in some cases, laying off workers. This survey, again, showed that about 770,000 workers had their wages reduced, and about 42,000 employees were laid off during the 3-week partial lockdown imposed on the Greater Accra and Greater Kumasi metropolitan areas and their contiguous districts, Tema and Kaswa. Government, however, succeeded in protecting the jobs and incomes of all public sector employees. Indeed, the cost of COVID-19 has been enormous. Our overall economic growth rate for 2020 was reviewed downwards from 6.8% to 0.9%. The non-oil economy was also revised from 6.7% to 1.6%. Revenue shortfall was estimated at 13.5 billion cedis, with additional expenditures related to stemming the tide of COVID-19 estimated at 11.8 billion cedis, with a combined effect amounting to 25.3 billion cedis, or 6.6% of GDP. The resultant fiscal deficit for 2020 was thus revised from 4.7% of GDP to 11.4% of GDP. This was done.
Onimonyamfo Daniel Yawo Nomlevo wono ene ye Auditor General sese no wakọ na homegye emum na sentemu ene ba beto odwa se empanifo se wo mo hwɛ ne fie baabi akon akodu na na wo se ne bre aso esanse manga na mu de wonya mfie duosia de a ewo se wokɔ fie na nkyirima no so wo mo enya adwuma no bi eje se de be ya ebetimi ate unemployment anase enkofo wo mo ewo fie a wo mo enya adwuma enye no numbers no eso ebe neno ena wonimonyamfo Daniel Lomlevo ampaniampa wajitu mu no ne mpanifo eya adwene na kwasiya de ya ena wokɔ asori dem wesanse yesi bibia mu no fasida fama nyame na wogina asori dem mu na wohim ne handkerchief wo yi awurade ayese eya enfie bebre wodi ewo adwuma no emu no nyame ahwe ne so wabɔ ne ho ban amanatimi edi na adwuma beye na wie ye dia na enye wodi aseda piesie ema nyankopɔn ene wo bibia nso a wo ma na adwene na sabi wotu ne fom ema ne timi didi ne dwuma no wode wo nyina ase na ne kase mu no ene wo sandi tu edwa se eya de oman Ghana mu edie ba ne katahyehyɛ ene proye dia nimpa ba ko eni ho betimi agina se wo betu ase ne no wo ye ne sa ansha na de wo akwakotina efie wadwuma mpo no ansha na akwakɔbɔ enti no katahyehyɛ ene proye mche corruption de wo se edom puduo ananse mugina ho pintin ansa motimi etu ase se mo ho dɔso de a na emom uye nimpa ba ko de emfansi wani so se ubetimi akon etu ase e wo man Ghana emu.
Thank His Excellency the former President John Dramani Mahama, who appointed me as the Auditor General of Ghana. I thank him for the opportunity to serve my motherland. I also like to thank His Excellency the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for working with me. In fact, in 2016, when I was appointed and I was confused as to whether I should accept or reject, a call came through from Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. And after greeting me, he said, hold on for the president-elect. So Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo encouraged me and said, go and take the job. That's why I am very grateful to him. I am equally grateful to the board, the management and staff of the audit service. Some of them are here. And I must say, I'm very grateful to you and even to the whole public service. I must say to the anti-corruption CSOs or institutions fighting corruption, I am very grateful. If you fight corruption alone, you will not last. Corruption is one dangerous enemy you can't fight alone. And you can't fight quietly. If you fight corruption quietly, you will be finished in a minute. So they have been with me together with the press. In fact, the press, I'm very grateful to you. You have been a big support to me in all that has happened.
Senior State of the Nation's address, Miche Sona Nyankopon, and I said, Ghana, your man penny, and I don't Akufo-Addo, Nyankopo, na Domon, Nana, what you mu or Debre, Ewan in Prenusua, Waba, Abefa Kunyano, Sam, Mampeni, Ewa, my Ghana moon. Na Nekasemu, and what the two just says, see, I show my Ghana moon. Empo, a my Ahod Waswa, a yadia COVID-19 yadiano, a ye nitino dodwana, and na Ubano, Ewe, Biane, and some. Diombe diene diom benomonom na ayede papa eye nanso o man Ghana die afimpino ne aduonu COVID-19 eyi ni tinom yeda so ewaduane kura aduane no etimi bu so eman ya yetimi ede bi ko amanone ekokoton sanso na ebimponom yetimi ede kokoya adoye na ni hinada ejina NPP amanyokuo no awono na nadodan Akufo-Addo na da no no wo mo hyehyeye ene nuoma pa wo mo de gu akwamu enu nti anama aduane ho ankwatwe ewo man Ghana emu
has been severely tested over the past year. The closure of borders in the midst of the pandemic meant that we have had to depend largely on food we produced. We have fared well under the circumstances, largely as a result of the bold policies implemented by government since 2017, such as the Program for Planting for Food and Jobs, Rearing for Food and Jobs, the One Village, One Dam initiative, the One District, One Warehouse policy, establishment of greenhouse villages, revitalization of the cocoa rehabilitation program, and the reactivation of our aquaculture industry. I'm happy to inform the House that during this period of the pandemic, we have experienced no food shortages in this country. There have been increases in maize and rice yields by 110% and 48% respectively. We have, for the first time in a long while, become a net exporter of food, as opposed to the days of importation of tomatoes and plantain. Indeed, in 2019, we exported some 140,000 metric tons to our neighbors. We are determined to take full advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area to produce more in Ghana, to sell more to Africa and beyond as we move Ghana beyond aid. The agreement for strategic partnership between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire has bound our two countries in even closer intimacy, especially in the cocoa sector. We have succeeded in aligning the cocoa production and marketing policies of the two countries and ensured that we do not continue to be victims or pawns of a global cocoa industry that is dependent on the toil and effort of our farmers. A new trading mechanism has been implemented and has ensured that a new cost item of $400 United States per ton for every cocoa sold by the two nations, effective from the 2021 season, is paid to our farmers. Through the establishment of the Tree Crops Development Authority, the government is determined to end the over-reliance on cocoa and develop other cash crops such as cashew, cotton, mango, oil palm, rubber, and shea. Government remains committed.
COVID-19 ho ensensama nyamnadom Ghana yenye dre yede esa ye ho yade no eno na Ghana fo num ebi timamufo no wo mo kase yade COVID-19 edro no de wo mo nje ne na wo mo enje na ochina na ni hina ne se wo kwaje aduro na na se ye de panye no ebi wo wa anhwe wa na ensunsanso boni bi abam mo kro mo kokko wo obi no na wo mo ebo yehu obi kura timi ka se wo covid-19 aduro no yade agya na tipaye obi mpo de wo se ayemutim aba ne ho esan covid-19 aduro no enti enu nti dodo na suro se ombe wo panye no ebi na eno na woni monyamfo akwadwo ponkro ma mecha information minister abransam trafo tutu na no ne yebusa sem so obi ankwankwo wo panye no ebia ye wasotwe bia ye de bema no ana ne no na wode tu dwa se empanifo enyanye san hyehye no de mpo no wankwankwo wo panye no ebidia wo mo aniwu ani asem na fei ena ombetena se no mahunu ne se wanwo panye na ye betwe waso anasa ye beye woden ne mpo no wo kan no waka kosisi panye no enya dia wo edi ama wo bi na mom wo edi ama wankasa woni pedua no esanse wo no wakwakwo woni de na covid-19 yade no eba ye no woni mosikani sanso ena woni mohiani sebe enti no se wanwo panye no na se so mudi a ene na wo no onyankopon entemu asemwa.
Now there are no sanctions that have been rolled out. We are encouraging strongly that people should take the vaccines. And we are pleased that we are observing that the initial vaccine hesitancy appears to be toning down a bit. And we congratulate you, our colleagues in the media, as you are helping us. We congratulate our colleagues from NCC, ISD. As we are getting the message out, we are noticing that hesitancy is gradually coming down, and a lot more people are volunteering or are stepping up to it. So we have not had need, as of now, to introduce any sanctions. Should it become necessary at some point that we consider what has been done in, I think, places like Israel or other places, where they will say, if you haven't taken the vaccine, you can't attend a public program. If you haven't taken the vaccine, I think in Dubai, you have to do a PCR test at your own cost every week or something. Should it become necessary that we get there, we would advise accordingly. But for now, we are happy at the level.
Onimonyam for Haruna Idrisu wono ena ye dom kuma omo wa mrahye bedefie wono ena wodi womo enimu neno ena odi ababetu edwa ewo na nadodanko akufado Ghana ye mampani eye na wotwe mu kasa wakasa fa Ghana ye bobre beebi ye ko akoduru eni beebi ye timi akoduru ne wakasa no ena wodi tu dwa se eyade mampani na nadodanko akufado abone humode papa eyie na kasa wakan ye de na ni hinada no eto asum papa eyie ne momuno wodi ne hu yawo ewo baabi na ni hinada ejina gay ene lesbian meche ema ne ema wo mo eda sanso ne mema wo mo fefa wo mo hu ewo man Ghana mu na sasamu etwagu na edi ehim ewo man Ghana mu obi bia aye krado se wo twense mampani na nadodan kwakufado ne kasa mu no obeka bibia fa ho se empo no wo ba betu ase anasa wo ba be ye mre bia no ebetimi ama omo akonya ne wo mo edi sa adwuma we empo no kokopie obi so se wo di sa adwuma na den na obetimi edi aya ne semra ema wo kwan a ne no ene ye mampani na nadodan kwakufado wan kasa asam no anasa wan kasa amfa ho saranso ena na nadodan kwakufado ne kasa mu no wodi tu jase Ghana wo ba ye sika asam ho a ejina ho pintin na no ena onimonyam for Haruna Idrisu ekase Ghana ye de kapapapa eyi aka no so sin wo man Ghana mpo na nka wo se mampani na nadodan kwakufado wodi sa asam no etu jase de be ye behunu akwan a ye be fa so ne atua sa aka no na kamia ye se webu nani egusu na emomo no yade a de wonye ye ena sebe wo kasa wa ye ne no ene mani di ne ho ya papa eyie ewo the State of the Nations address a wode babetu dwa ewo man Ghana emu
ye nyina ye nim se edubre bia se mampani bi ti akonya so a obomoden eba abontene State of the Nation address ebeto Ghana fo anim kire ba bia oman no wabu adi adu ene sede a wopese woto aso edibu oman no na wei enna na atodankwa Akufo-Addo a wono ene oye Ghana mampani sei aba abontene edi State of the Nation address aba abontene a enche bia wei na wo wiye no eye minority leader wo parliament anidin edi Haruna Idrisu ba abontene edi nanu disem abetu dwa papa na asem a woka nyina ne se edi enkure ni State of the Nation address o mampani betu dwa ya ade a na mi anje ho kra o se waye so disappoint disappointed na asɛm a wɔde to dwa bio ne sɛ empo ɛyɛ ade a deɛ na wɔhwehwɛ so wɔbɛka ho asɛm no wanka ho asɛm ebi ne sɛ LGBTQI community ɛne Daniel Domlevo ho nsɛnsɛm a aba wɔkɔ anahomegye mu no yɛ ade a wɔ expect sɛ Ankara Nado Dankwa Akufo-Addo betumi aka ho nsɛm nanso ɛnyɛ ade a wotumi de saa nsɛm no bi ɛbɛto dwa koraa enti ɔno deɛ State of the Nation address a yɛma mpani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ɛde bɛto dwa no yɛ ade a n'ani anyɛ ho.
Yes, the president was conspicuously silent on the national debt stock, which is in the region of some 297 billion Ghana cedis, about 78% of GDP. And you need that in order to understand how you compute the fiscal deficit, which will affect other macroeconomic indicators. It was also disappointing that today, Nana Addo Dankwa lost a good opportunity to talk about where he stands on this LGBTQ, lesbianism and identity. He should be bold and courageous enough to have shared that with us. He didn't. Now, jobs. He couldn't share with us how much unemployment COVID has contributed to the economy. We need to understand that. All he said was that 72,000 people have had their wages reduced. That's not enough. What is the impact of COVID on unemployment? How much have COVID contributed in terms of job losses? He doesn't have the numbers. He must get to the statistical service and get to it. Now, he's talking about corruption. He's talking about transparency. Where is Domlevo? Where is the Auditor General? Where has he sacked somebody who is shining the light on malfeasance, misappropriation, embezzlement, and corruption? Why is he in a haste? And you see, he's setting a very bad precedent. Tomorrow, anybody, look at the constitutional provisions on the Auditor General, justices of the Supreme Court, and then even the Electoral Commission. Tomorrow, any of them can be asked to proceed on leave, and that will be it. The basis will be that we say Nana Addo Dankwa did it, so as president he did, so we can also do it. But he challenged us to cooperation. We'll see how his work.
Yet wa kasia no so na yede wo eko enije kasia ebu na yamampeni Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo meche ntoaso suku SHS eye creative art no nyame adom wotimi ede aso aba afom ewo mfimpino ni dunkuno emu ewo kwada so a eno no ewo Asante Manto meche Kumase na abrodi aso ne bo fom na de so de hina ene se wo bebo moden ne wasisa suku dan no se de be ya creative art industry na wo man Ghana mu no so no dachi bi no enkoda no ebiom betimi aboa na etimi esipi na esita na no na ne kasemu wodi tu dwa se eyade asade no wo mo ani agieche papa ya enche no dan no wo mo ebewie na wo mo awie ni ye na enkoda etimi akomu no mo akosua ade na wo mo esua ni ye wo kasa no sei na wodi tu dwa.
Since then, we have intensified our engagement with Africans in the diaspora and all persons of African descent, more positively in areas such as trade and investment cooperation and skills and knowledge development and what we call beyond the return. The Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, together with its implementing agency, the Ghana Tourism Authority, is working towards the realization of this initiative, which will bring even greater spotlight on our nation, Ghana. A lot of work has been undertaken in revamping our tourist sites and making them attractive. Digital revenue collection systems have been installed at the Elmina and Cape Coast castles, the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, and Vili Waterfalls. Government has upgraded 5 tourism sites to meet international standards for increased visitation and create jobs and incomes for the people. The new minister for the sector, the industrialist Ibrahim Awal Mohammed, has also indicated his determination to strengthen the creative arts industry in Ghana. Already, the first ever creative arts senior high school, located in Kwadaso in Kumasi in the Ashanti region, is nearing completion. The governing board of the National Film Authority is in place, and even greater attention will be paid to this sector by government. Mr. Speaker, Our quest to ensure an improved
Ebusa ye mampeni na nadoda kwa kufado e na wote yese wo kasa no na ni hina ene se wo bomodin se creative art industry no wo bema no edina ne nanso pintin e wo man Ghana emu. Ebusa na ye edina we so ne yetwa ye hotia wa ye ba ye de obekọ amanone ensemu na hye so say ye success preparatory school wo mom e na bo ye chido eme ye de kase ebre wo enanopei success wo mo e won sawom adeso kwantempon no eso ehwo e na obehunu wo mo akiri akwan success ana wo mo edemu sonkom ye twa ye ho ye ba ye beto aso. Ebusia yesai ama wakwa abasafe ena waso wafide na ye virgin anopa no sia kasiem afe amanone ensem neno ena wokokopie mu ewo Uganda manu emu a COVID-19 edu anyame adom ebia ba bepie mu ewo man Ghana emu a yebo ye homodin bia se ye de bi ebesa ye ho yade saranso enna ye de bi ebe wo ye ho ana COVID-19 yetimi akon atia no eno ena Uganda manu mu no ebi ababe pie ho edi ama wo mo so enche no wo mo di bi be wo mo hu se de be ya mbetimi akon etia COVID-19 yade no.
COVID-19 edura empo yenya ntiese aba na amaya hodo so obi afiase anensaka ene dia ebi ebedu o man Ghana nyame ya adom ye papanom efiase ewo wode a empo kwa na yeguso a ye hokwa akakra na mpo enipa hodo a wonwo obi no abomoden awo no sese wokokopie Uganda memu a eyade a wonso ebre wo chicha no wonso achichema ebi aso wonso a empo enuro 864,000 doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca Gavase ena wonsaka eye na wotwe etwemu ena wonsa ekaye na wokopie mu a health minister wo wa ne din Edigene Ruth Asing ono en woye nipa edro ni bedu wo man ni mpo no odi kan ewo ne de wo capital ne din ede Kampala eye hospital ho ena wotumi ewo ye na wo wie ye kire no ena empo eye health workers wo ho nyina enso ato santene a ogusu a wo de ewo oman mu ho.
Onimonya for Haruna Idrisu ene wodi ababonten etwemu se eyade na nadodan kwa kufado ne kasa wodi betu dwa no eyade a ni hina to asum na mom no wadi ne ho yaw ewon sensem bi a wanfa metu edwa COVID-19 yade eno ena nyame adumedu ebabedu o man Ghana emu na enkofo bi ekasa panye no enyade ombewo no onimonya for kwadopon enkroma wakasa ede afa ho Saranso enna mampeni na nadodan kwa akufado na watwiye mu State of the Nations address awode breye no wo ma yenya no enti yese eyade a Ghana COVID-19 eyi neti ewo man Ghana mu no eyade aduane de eho anko atwe na yede wo eko no monyafo domlevo eho na no so enna empenifo ka se won kɔ na homidie mu no kwasi ade ya ene wo kɔ na sesom na ne na sesom ni mu no ene wodi tu jase bande kata hye ene proye wo man Ghana mu dia onipa ba kofo entimi entu asiye ebusia na ensem bi eka we ho amonone ensem ene dedie mu ensem ena ye bobo ano anopa ye de babesumu se virgin anopa no sia kasiem mi ameje pene be kan kasie ede ma o medin ede na na pia a kireba ye mamomo ni hwe ni tia enyaado